the back, the VOD and the silver screen. Kevin and Tom and Joe know all there is to know, from masterpieces to deep fried tacos. And if the movie sucks, you might hear them say, there's no telling where the guys will take you. Get ready for a spoiler. Won't say it twice, cause we already warned you. Better watch out, it's gonna ruin the plot. Real spoilers. Real spoilers. Real spoilers.
Broadcasting from the lush but not lavish studios located in the basement of the O'Keefe Institute for Advanced Film Snarkitude, this is Real Spoilers, episode 841, The Amateur.
Auteur?
Because we are fancy.
We are fancy.
The Amateur.
Yeah.
That's how I said it to Katie at the theater too.
Because you're fancy.
The amateur.
We can tell by your pants.
Thank you. I
We
left
were,
my monocle at home.
My top hat, too.
Chris, well, you can't get the headphones over it.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I can
that's
roll them backwards.
That's why Abraham Lincoln didn't have a podcast. As people don't know that. That's the sort of facts you learn listening to Real Spoilers.
I love that the Widest Kids You Know sketch, the
Yeah.
theater sketch that they do with Abraham Lincoln, just shows up. It just pops back up every once in a while.
Yeah.
And it like gains traction again. I was like, God, that's such a great sketch.
Remind me.
So
I
he's
know
like
I've watched
he's
it, but I don't
being
remember.
he's being a dick. Like up in the box, and people are yelling at him.
Oh,
And
because
of
he won't take his
course-
hat off.
Well,
Oh.
he's just yelling at like
Yeah.
the play below.
Yeah.
And somebody takes care of it.
I was listening to another podcast. I know this is.
Oh,
I know. I
How
don't know if
dare
people know
you.
this, but there are other podcasts.
Yeah.
are there really?
Yeah. And I was listening to Freakonomics because I'm a nerd. And the current thing they're doing is the economics of how Broadway musicals work, and so they're following a new Broadway musical that's currently being workshopped, and it's about Abraham Lincoln.
Okay.
And they were, and I was just first off the idea of Lincoln singing, like you know,
Sure.
like it just seems weird.
Yeah.
you know.
But probably you could say that about most of the weird out there plays that come out. Like, you know, like that. Like,
No, yeah,
Bring It
and-
On the musical. That sounds weird,
and
but it's really fun.
They
you
talk
know?
about that, right? They're like the idea about a hip hop musical about a founding father,
Right.
or a musical about the Titanic, or you know, there are lots of
Is there
weird.
a musical about the Titanic?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah,
But it's a lot of big swings, and one's gonna take off
right.
eventually.
And
Spider-Man.
but they were playing some of the songs from it, and I'm just like, this doesn't sound good.
Oh, no. Oh.
And it's like really talented people who have worked on other big musicals, but I was like, the
Yeah.
songs, I'm like, these don't sound very good.
Well, I think it's the chasing the dragon from Hamilton.
Yeah,
Like that works because you've got creative geniuses.
Oh,
that
it
are
was only a
involved.
matter of time before other historical
right,
stories
right.
were going to be tried. To
Exactly.
told
but I
on.
mean, but Hamilton was not the first. I mean, we've
No.
got 1776.
That's true.
no,
like that,
but
you know.
but trying to recreate off the success of
Yeah.
Hamilton.
Hamilton,
trying to-
like, still is. I mean, it's, at the Fox. I work close to the Fox.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And if they're in town,
Yeah.
like just forget trying to get to work.
oh,
Because it's
insane.
set up.
Yeah.
I don't know that
It's a great
1776
show.
is still doing that.
The songs
Well,
are
no,
so
but
good.
I mean, but like they did. I was just saying, Hamilton didn't invent the
Yeah,
idea
sure,
about
sure,
a
sure.
Broadway musical about founding fathers.
About the
no,
history.
but like the anachronism of it all,
Yeah.
the hip hop and colorblind casting and
What's
all
Well,
the-
this is not hip hop though. This is more.
Oh, well, I'm
traditional
out.
songs. Yeah,
I'm out.
Yeah.
Is it the 7? Is it 6? 7? Is it
6.
6? That's the one that my kid is way into.
Yeah, that
right
one's very
now.
popular right
Yeah,
now. I know
yeah.
Aunt Juliet is really popular too.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, that's coming to town. But
No.
Anyway, we're supposed to talk about movies.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so let's
crap.
go around the table and everyone can introduce themselves.
This is Joe.
This is Kevin.
And this is Tom. Shameless plugs. It'll be quick because we didn't get the episode posted in time to really collect show sharers.
Sorry.
But you shared it just out of the kindness of your heart.
That's right.
And so, but thank you. And we will.
You guys are great.
It will return next week.
Yeah, we love you.
So, also don't forget we're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, TuneIn, wherever you find a podcast. You can find us while you're there. Like, subscribe, whatever the kids say. Smash the
like button.
Smash the follow button.
Yeah,
Is
right,
that what it is?
right.
Smash the friends button.
Yeah, smash
Is
the
that-
Friendster button.
Yeah, and then you said we have a new review.
I do.
that's
I
shitting
do.
On us.
Yeah, kind
I
of.
can't wait.
It's called Whiners. And it's from Slug 3. So your name is pretty appropriate, you piece of.
Wow. Somebody's coming in
No
hot.
holds barred.
Yeah.
What are y'all gonna complain? You can't even put the apostrophe in y'all.
Let's see. That's what we're going to complain about.
Yeah, bingo, found it.
We're going to complain about your writing.
You wrote the word y'all instead of whatever. What are y'all gonna complain about next episode? You're old. Stop pretending you care about the stuff you whine about.
Huh?
That's what he said.
Well,
So
we would
Slug,
whine about you, but we don't care, and you told
why
us
don't you
not
take
to.
a salt bath, you piece of.
Because he's a slug.
Yeah, he's a slug.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Slugs don't like
That's
salt.
so. What do we whine about? I mean, we
He's not wrong, and we are. Well,
We
two
are
of us are
old.
old.
we are old. We're not denying that.
Yeah.
But
There
we
you go.
figured out how to do podcasts, so that should count for something.
Yeah, what's your podcast, Slug?
I've even got a smartphone.
like, to be fair, we did start doing this podcast before everybody had a podcast.
That is
Yeah.
true.
You know, we did start it out just
That is true.
in a scrappy
I always
way.
think it's funny when people are like, you're old. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, well, hopefully that never happens to you.
Yeah. I do.
I'll let you draw your own conclusion on what that
100%.
means.
I don't want you
I
to get
hope
old.
you never get old. That's my hope for you. We're
That's
on the
just-
same side.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
just so silly. I don't think that review has anything to do with the content of
No.
our movie
No.
reviews. I'm
It
just
does
gonna
not.
go out and take
Yeah,
a
I think
wild
that's a safe bet.
Yeah.
swing
Slug
there.
is a pretty appropriate title
Yeah.
name
Oh,
for that
goodness.
guy or person.
So, what else do we plug? Oh yeah, we have a Patreon. Slug, if you'd like to give us $5 a month,
You can do comments on there too.
We'll talk more shit about you on that one.
yeah, you can do that over there at patreon.com. /real spoilers. $5 a month to get all sorts of bonus content, and you get to help out the elderly and our complaining. That's delightful. And then
I don't know if I want to do it anymore after that review.
That's
I
it, your
think
game
finally
over.
after
That's the
hurtful.
one. That's the one that broke you.
yeah, after about 14
Not,
years.
not
of,
the one of all of the Elvis Presley supporters
No,
who
that
are
was the one.
ridiculing us for saying, "Hey, he's a piece of crap."
I don't want to be called a whiner.
I'm just a little
Don't like it.
I'm
just
just
a
a little
guy.
snowflake.
Yeah, I'm just a little guy.
What do you want me to do?
Oh. I don't know if I can continue on.
So, and then finally, you can watch all of these over at YouTube, youtube.com/@realspoilers. And, yeah, and you can say even meaner things over there.
Oh
'cause
man,
YouTube
you totally can.
is a cesspool.
Yeah.
You literally
Hey, what
can't
happened-
post your comment if you don't say something
What
mean.
happens if we flick off the camera? Do we get hit with something?
I don't think so.
Yeah, they unmonetize us.
Okay, good.
Do they really?
Not demonetize us.
Yeah,
They
no,
unmonetize.
Yeah, just unmonetize.
They demonetize. They no longer allow you to make money. If they unmonetize you, they actually come to your house,
Open
and
your
start
wallet.
seizing
Yeah.
property.
They're well, you know, given
took
the political
They
climate.
took my Amazing Spider-Man 129.
Bullshit.
Yeah, it's in that box right over there.
I dug that mofo out.
Yeah. So anyway, I guess there's all that. Let's dig in to the movie du jour. The Amateur, the movie that dares to ask the question, what if Jack Reacher was a pussy?
So I enjoyed this movie overall.
Yeah, I thought this was an entertaining little thriller.
Rami
movie.
Malek is in a different movie.
Yeah,
He's doing something.
He's trying to win another Oscar.
He
right?
absolutely
And
is.
it's-
I thought
this
that.
is the movie where I finally was like, okay, I officially don't like Rami Malek.
Thank you, because here's the thing: his performance is not bad. Step away from this movie or whatever. What he's doing, like he's in on this performance,
Yes.
trying to do something.
Yes.
and I think he technically is a good actor, but he does the same.
It's the same
thing
character.
in every movie.
Even Freddie Mercury is in this. I was gonna say spectrum, but I don't know that.
But
I
not
probably
like
should.
spectrum like autism,
Yeah.
but just
Yes, like-
spectrum lowercase s.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I just
It's
I'm
the
watching
same-
this
it's Mr.
movie,
Robot.
and it's Mr. Robot, and
Yeah.
I loved the show Mr. Robot. Love, genius show. He's perfect casting, but he just plays Mr. Robot, and now this movie's probably the closest that you could play Mr. Robot to.
I thought
well,
it was
not
pretty.
that he's
wasn't
Mr.
he pretty-
Robot.
He
but-
was the last Bond villain, right?
yeah,
Oh, yeah,
but
I
it was
think he
bad
was.
though.
What?
He was bad.
No, that last one.
he was not a good. He was. You think
That-
he was a good Bond
I
villain?
do. Yeah, I think
Okay.
that last one's a pretty fan.
I
No
just-
Time to Die.
I like the movie.
Oh. I thought you were saying. I'm sorry.
No, he. That's why I kept saying he. I just Rami Malek again. That show, I saw him in the Short Term 6 or whatever. What was that first? Short Term 12. Short Term 6?
12.
Short Circuit.
Yeah, Short Circuit. He played the
Starring
the
Fisher
professor.
He played the professor. Actually, that would have been less offensive than Fisher Stevens.
But
He tried though.
Yeah, he
He
did.
did take it serious.
But like I saw him in that and thought he was really good in this. The first time I ever saw him, I guess he was on the Pacific, but I never watched that. I didn't see, he had some, might be his breakout role or something. But anyway, he's in Short Term 6. I thought that was really good. And then whatever, he did some other things. He was in Night at the Museum. He had some other little roles, but Mr. Robot, he's perfect for that Elliot, for the character in that show. And I just think it's like, that's his thing. He just, it's the way he delivers lines.
Was he a cop in, what was that, like, first movie we did post-pandemic? It was like, it wanted to be Seven so bad.
Oh, with the Denzel Washington.
With Jared Leto?
Jared Leto one.
Is he a cop in that?
He might be.
But he's still doing this. But you're right. He's the same thing.
I just don't think he has the way he performs. And so, like, this movie, again, I think, it plays to his strengths. I do think, like, if he was going to be that type of character with that delivery, an IT guy that's very antisocial, whatever, like, I think he does fine. But you're right. He is, like, he's acting like this is an Oscar bait movie he's in. It's way too serious of a
He's way
performance.
too. Yeah, you've got all these different. I'm not going to call them character actors, but you've got a bunch of these different guys.
So you get the guy from Mindhunter.
Yeah,
and the
Lawrence.
lady from Mayor of Easttown.
Oh, what? I thought that was Kate Winslet.
But she was the friend. She was Kate Winslet's
she was the
friend.
friend. She's also
Don't.
on Law and Order.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She was on Law
Thought
and
you
Order.
were going to ruin Mayor of Easttown.
No, that's a great show.
It is great.
But
You get the lady from James Gunn's Superman in it.
you mean, is it Rachel
Rachel Brosnahan.
Yeah.
Brosnahan?
She's Mrs. Maisel.
That's
she's marvelous.
Marvelous.
I know, but I'm
well,
trying
we
to,
can't call her that.
I'm
anymore.
trying.
Why can't I?
Well, she works for DC.
Like she's.
But
so
I'm bumped. She's DC.
Yeah,
yes.
she's
But,
detectivist.
I like. So I watched every episode of Marvelous.
I've never
Mrs.
seen it.
Maisel. It's really good.
Yeah,
She's
I've heard
great on
great
that
things.
show.
It's
She's
and
fantastic.
she's amazing
Yeah.
on that show, and it gets a little irritating down the stretch. Like her family was cute and quirky at the beginning, but by like that third season, it was just
It was like the last time Zach Levi was good in something,
I know,
right?
It was
Oh,
just like
jeez.
enough,
Yeah.
right? Like it was just trying too hard with the family. But I thought the stand-up storyline was really good, and but she's great.
Yeah,
and
she is
so
great.
like as someone who watched that show and really enjoyed it, it makes me sad to see her in a movie like this where she's just
Reduced to nothing.
the wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah.
I really thought that it was going to pay off a little bit more, like she wasn't really dead.
That's what I thought
or
we were
something.
doing.
You know?
That's where I thought we were going with it.
That's what we come to expect from a movie like this. Like, what are you going to do to elevate it? What are you going to do to take it to the next level? And same thing. I'm like, if you cast her in a movie, but also I didn't think you would cast John Bernthal.
That is also the most.
Was he working that day on the same?
He's like, hey, I've got to go do
set?
the Punisher.
Yeah.
Can I just?
Okay, but here's the thing. John Barenthal, like that seems to be his career arc. Like he shows up in so many movies for like 3 scenes.
Yeah.
But
and I
it's-
don't understand.
I don't either. It's
'Cause he's
so
so good.
He's
because,
so good.
Because what happens is he's in the movie, they cross paths. And like one of the first scenes of the movie, he's like to Rami, he's like, hey, you want to, or what are you doing for lunch? And he's like, oh, I don't have any plans. Like, oh, you're going to invite me to the big.
Yeah, 'cause-
Right.
Well, we should say he's excited because Barenthal is like a real spy.
Yes.
Like he's out in the field. He's an operative.
He's
like,
been brought in.
He's got a code name or something. Like
Yeah, it's called The
where
Punisher.
where Rami Malek's character Charlie.
Yeah, he's a desk jockey.
He's just
IT
he's
guy kind of forensic.
yeah. Well, he's a cryptographer.
Yeah,
he,
he's a behind
he can
the
break
scenes.
codes and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's the guy in the chair, and so he's like super excited because like
he's microchip.
he got invited to the big kids table.
Yeah.
and then he
And
didn't.
then
then
John
Bernthal's
Bernthal's
I
like,
just need
oh,
you to
well,
fix my computer real
Great,
quick.
you don't have plans. You can look at my computers or whatever. So he's in that scene, and then as the movie goes on and they get into the plot of it and yada yada, and he goes rogue. Rami goes rogue. I'm like, oh, they're gonna send John
So,
Bernthal
no, I thought-
after him, like because they introduced him. He's
I
in
thought
this
the
movie.
opposite. So Lawrence Fishburne is the one they said. I thought when the gal who's the head of the CIA is like, we need to send somebody in of
Yeah.
our own. I was like, oh, it's going to be Lawrence Fishburne versus John
John
Bernthal.
Bernthal, right.
So
That's
John
what I'm
Bernthal is
saying,
going to
yeah.
be the good guy,
Yeah,
trying to protect Rami Malek, but nope.
which he ends up doing,
Kind of.
I mean, but like he wasn't after him. Like what I mean is he's not dirty in this world. Like
No,
he is
not
a
at
good
all.
guy. But so I'm just like, oh, well, clearly he will come into play in the plot in some way, shape, or form.
No.
But it's like then he crossed paths with him for one more scene.
Yeah.
To do nothing.
To be like,
it
hey, turn
literally-
yourself in. He says no. He's like, good luck, kid.
Like and when he essentially acts like it's a coincidence that they're there at the same place, same time, and in a different country. Like I'm like, oh, he's saying that because he's blah blah blah.
Yeah.
No, literally, I believe that was a coincidence, which is so stupid. What are the chances that you would be
right.
in Russia or in whatever at the same time when you're? I mean, it's just so silly.
It was very silly.
But why? Why even have it? Right? It was such a waste.
Yeah, like you could completely cut Barenthal from this movie. It would have changed nothing.
And does
about
he
it.
could've
even
made him
sell a
anybody
movie?
else.
What does even having his name do? Like, if you were saying like, so you could say it's with John Barenthal.
I guess.
Like, but really, does that sell a movie? I don't know. I mean,
No.
he's good. He pops up and you go, oh, it's him. But like, I
He's
don't think-
like the only thing I can think is he's one of those actors that's like is like a tipping point. Like it's got like 3 people, and then you're like, and John Barenthal. You're like, okay, like where Kevin Spacey was at in the '90s, and not Kevin Spacey, Kevin Bacon was at in the '90s.
we
where
don't
it was
want to
like,
know where Kevin Spacey
you'd
was
have
in the
all
90s.
these, you'd have all these characters,
Yeah.
and then it'd be like, and Kevin Bacon.
That's why that game works.
yeah,
It's
right.
because that dude was in
Right.
everything.
Yeah.
You know?
But I just thought that was so weird. That
But yeah,
he,
all of these other actors know what movie they're in.
yeah.
And they're owning it, right?
Yeah.
They're owning every minute of it. And then Rami Malek's given these solo scenes where he's crying into his wife's suitcase because, well, spoilers, she gets killed.
Yeah.
We think.
I mean, that's that's like in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah. But like
But it's not even a misleading killed. Like, no, spoilers.
well,
she
so that's the whole
literally
thing.
is
The
killed.
whole thing? Yeah, the whole movie. They're. I think we've talked about this where some movies will. It's hard to play along with the technology.
Yeah.
And this one, like, we're in this weird, like, even in 2025, we're in this weird transitional time where AI is exploding, and you've got, you do have like Big Brother kind of keeping an eye on you. So like this technology feels just close enough to being real.
Yeah.
Oh,
that you can
yeah.
accept it.
All the facial recognition stuff and all that is
Yeah.
believable at this point because they do have camera systems that are on 24/7 going through and matching databases.
And
like
I
all-
totally believe that the government, or at least the government of 6 months ago, was mature enough to have stuff like this that just the public doesn't know about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's
Absolutely.
the next level, like the stuff that they have probably for the police, the police officers of that, area probably have like the last couple years version where
Right.
it does
Yeah.
what it does, but then the government has the
I read this
top tier.
I read
Yeah.
this book about the history of DARPA,
Okay.
which is what
the DARPA initiative.
that's what
DARPA and
it's
Greg.
supposed to be.
Is it
Dharma
really?
Yeah.
is supposed to be DARPA.
Oh, no
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
okay.
so it's about the history of DARPA, and which is, I forget what it stands for, but it's like advanced research that the government funds and
Yeah.
utilizes. And like it was fascinating in terms of just how many things existed for like just years
And nobody knew about it.
before it was made available to the general public, and
Mm-hmm.
how much of this stuff was originally funded by the government until it entered the private sector, like GPS and like the way the internet works and like all that stuff was
now,
like,
did this book say why there were polar bears? Did it explain that?
yeah, but you got to read it yourself.
Yeah.
We're here to spoil movies,
Yeah,
not
not books.
Oh, jeez.
But it was just fascinating just to read like how many things that like you think of that started to enter the public in the 90s that were like, oh no, we came up with that during the Vietnam War.
Isn't that like the public is always 20 to 25 years behind like technology?
I mean, that's what it seemed like reading
Yeah,
this book. Like
yeah.
it was pretty good, and then it also makes me like, oh my god, what were they working on now? But I'm sure it's all been unfunded. So
Depends
they
on
were
what-
talking about how they like the things that they think that they're working on now is like literally like how to like control people's brains like chemically.
don't think that's too far from the
Yeah,
truth. I think it's
and-
already happening.
Yeah, and so
I don't think that for the record.
Yeah,
I was being-
but I was just like, oh man, like
yeah,
that's-
just wait.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Would
so
explain a
he's
lot.
it would explain a lot. So he is we've talked Rami Malek always plays somebody on the spectrum. Always. Like, and this
Well,
movie is no different.
that might be Rami Malek, though.
That's
I don't know if he.
also-
I mean, I think I mean,
I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah, I think that's just him. I think that's his performance. I'm not saying anything bad about it, obviously. It's just I think that he gives the same performance, and I think that's his delivery.
jam.
I think that's what he,
I think you're probably right.
I mean, if you look at him in interviews, he's not that much more.
No,
he's not that much different, right? Like you listen to his interviews, and he's, he may be a little bit more like,
chill.
Well, not chill, but he may be a little bit more like, on. He's a little more jokey, a little whatever. But like his delivery's not that far off.
No.
So.
So he's, he has this house out in the sticks. I guess it's kind of off the beaten path. He's got Rachel. Say her last name. Brosnahan is his wife, and they have this, he's an expert in making coffee. She's on her way to London. She kind of keeps asking him.
They're a power couple.
They are kind of a power couple a little bit.
Like me and Crystal.
Just like you and Crystal. So she's like, do you want to come with me? He's like, no, I'm like real close to breaking this thing at work. So she takes off. He's back at, he goes to the CIA. I assume that's who they work for.
Mm-hmm.
It is interesting. They keep calling it the company, which I wonder if that's a thing in the CIA where they don't call it that. He's like, everybody says it. Nobody says CIA. They all call it the company.
Maybe that's their plausible deniability.
That's kind of what I'm. Yeah,
like
no, I work for the company.
No, Joe. At 37 minutes in, someone says, "I'm heading to my office at the CIA."
Stop whining, will you? Jesus,
it's what I do, Joe.
And he
I'm gonna
has
watch
this,
the whole movie again to see how many times they mention CIA.
I don't even think that this is the U.S. government because the head of it is DEI
a woman
hire.
I will say this gal. She was on The Outsider. She was in The Mayor of Easttown.
Yeah, that's right. She was
the wife.
Jason Bateman's wife.
Yeah. She is one of those actresses that is deceptively good in everything she's in.
Yeah, she's not showy.
Not at all.
But you just buy it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And according to Wikipedia, he is definitely a CIA cryptographer.
Mm-hmm. So you're talking about Julianne Nicholson.
Yes, she's great. Mm-hmm. She is always really good. She's got some
Ally
scenes.
McBeal.
Oh, really?
God, has she been around that long?
Mm-hmm.
That's wild.
Boardwalk Empire, I, Tonya, Black Mass. She's had some.
She plays what's his name's wife?
Jeff Galooly.
No. Oh, and I, Tonya. No.
Oh, yeah.
In Black Mass, she plays the FBI agent's wife.
Jason Spader.
No, the other one.
James Spader.
No. In Black Mass?
Wait, that's Blacklist.
Blacklist.
Sorry.
Black Mass
Johnny
is the
Depp?
Johnny Depp,
that
Whitey
racist?
Bulger. No.
Okay.
No, you're fine.
Wasn't
Whitey Bulger movie.
No,
Yeah,
that's
she's
racist.
got
Joel Edgerton.
And who's the guy who Holt Mac?
That guy.
That guy is like
the best.
the crooked, like hard ass.
He's not always though. Like he's the partner in Mindhunter.
Yeah, he's great. He's a
He's
good
I'm not saying he
guy.
has to be crooked, but he plays a perfect like you can't trust him.
Yes.
He's just this hard ass like.
He was on like a boxing show that was like tied into the Irish mob where he's like,
Oh, really?
and that was also pretty good. He goes, he's talking to this CIA informant who they have this kind of back and forth about where this person lives, and then she ends. Well, I just spoiled that.
I don't think they were a CIA informant.
Yeah.
Were they?
Oh yeah.
Did they turn? Is that what the
gal on the computer?
Yeah.
Yeah. She says that like
Oh.
remember she says her
Yeah.
husband was an informant.
She's
and
like
then
leaking stuff
he
to him.
died by falling out of a window,
Right.
which is how most
Okay.
KGB agents die.
That's what. Okay, because
by
I
accidentally falling out
I
of a window.
picked up the part that her husband was a Russian
She picked
agent.
up where he left off.
Yeah, but I just didn't know if she was like officially like working for the CIA. As,
She just kind of I
She
think
was
she's-
like helping
Uh-huh.
off the books.
Yeah.
Like she's.
I don't think it was off the books because they say that that this person, this code name, has been an informant forever,
Okay.
and then he died, but the information was still coming in
okay.
to the
Gotcha.
CIA, so they're tracking everything.
Yeah.
And she ends up sending him a bunch of files that he can't decrypt, and he ends up doing it, but he stumbles upon that the director of the CIA. No, wait,
No,
not the director.
The guy we're talking about, the Holt McCallany.
Yeah,
He's like deputy director. He's
Well,
very high up.
yeah, he's like the number 2 guy.
Yeah, CIA deputy director
Deputy
Alex
director.
Moore.
Alex
There you
Moore was conducting off the book missions that were highly illegal, and of course he uses the "I will protect this United States at all costs."
Yeah.
And Rami Malek's like, "Cool, don't do that." So the next, that we go to the next day, he calls his wife, leaves a message. He just assumes that she's sleeping or whatever. Goes into work. Since he has found all this stuff, we think that the deputy director is coming. He's in his office. And he was just, he's like, we need to talk to you. Have you been watching the news? And he's like, no, not really. I'm trying to find, I love this line. I'm trying to find a news source that I trust. And I was like, good luck, brother.
Yeah.
I think that's their way of trying to like keep the audience enjoying the movie regardless of their political.
Yeah, I
They
think
show
that's
CNN or they show Fox. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
you just say, I don't know.
Yeah.
I have the BBC.
This
maybe.
movie's for everyone.
The AP. That's what I read. So they go up to the office.
Because they say Gulf of Mexico.
Oh, they do? They really?
Yeah, that's the AP is who
They kicked out of the thing.
Trump kicked out of the press pool
Golly.
because they
Imagine
wouldn't say
having
Gulf of America.
imagine having a dick so small that you have to. So he goes upstairs and he.
No, mine's so big I still say Gulf of Mexico. That's how big my dick.
Have you seen the videos going around saying we should call it the Gulf of CUM?
Why?
Because the Gulf of, was it like Cuba, United States, and
That's
Mexico?
hilarious. We should do that. That's great. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
So you've got both the both directors are there, and they say, "Look, there was a terrorist attack in London. Your wife has been killed.
London Bridge is falling down.
That's right." And he kind of, he goes into a tailspin where.
Oh, woohoo. Oh, no, that's the wrong show.
Oh,
Sorry.
we're gonna pay for that.
Yeah,
Careful.
damn it.
It's the wrong show. That's okay. No one can connect the dots on that.
No, they might. Maybe.
The algorithm is powerful.
I have no fear. So he goes in this tailspin and he ends up like going back to work, and he breaks both of these FBI, not the gal, but these other two guys are like, we'll get around to it.
CIA, I know they don't mention it in the movie much.
They're the
but-
company.
Okay.
Yeah. They're just like, we'll see what we can do. He's like, we're gonna find him. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not.
They're like, we got more important things at play.
Yeah. So Rami Malek takes it upon himself using facial recognition, all this other stuff. He recreates the entire scene. Now, there are certain moments where I was like, where did you get that camera angle from? Like, that doesn't make any sense at all.
But I think in a spy thriller movie, I get what you're saying, but I think you're just supposed to understand they can tap into any phone, into any camera.
That's kind of what I thought.
He's that good that it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. He
They got
can't.
that software from Batman Begins.
Yeah, the sonar.
Yeah.
Isn't that what it was?
When they could like tap every phone
wasn't it?
simultaneously.
Oh, I
Or
think that was Dark Knight.
Dark Knight?
Was
Yeah.
it Dark Knight? I
Dark
thought it
Knight.
was Batman Begins.
No, Batman Begins. It wasn't like as advanced enough to,
Yeah. So he finds these 4 people, and the Holt McElhenney is just kind of like, yeah, we know. And he's like, we're gonna go get him. He's like, no.
You've just told us everything we already knew.
Which is also kind of like, you're a dick.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
But also when he came to them with all this stuff, I'm like, you're coming to the deputy director of the CIA. Like, I don't think their concern is going to be, that would probably be like the police officers of the area or
Well,
something.
they're not concerned because who's the guy that's like the head guy?
Oh,
Is it Michael something?
The head guy of what?
Yeah, what do you,
The guy, like the last guy that he goes after.
Oh, is like,
But what's his name? What's the actor's name?
Crap.
He's very good. Like, he's a very good actor.
he's the dad from the Peach movie.
Yes.
I'm trying to think, what's his name? Daniel Stuhlberg or something? Hold on, let me look.
I don't know. He was in
Michael Stolbarg.
Stolbarg.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was close.
So, but that guy works for the deputy director. Like, he's like his wet works guy. So when they find that name, he's like, no, I don't know. No, we're not doing it. So
And this is the guy that actually pulled the trigger on his wife is the guy he has the least information on.
yes, he's the most like he's
He
the one that
hides
goes
his face
to,
in all
goes
the
to
camera.
ground.
Yeah, there's no trace of like where he's living or where, he's covered all his tracks, which probably makes sense if the CIA is helping him to not
Exactly.
be found. They're scrubbing records around him
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah. So
But also, I think my point was like, I don't think that he comes to the CIA with the people that killed his wife, but she wasn't anyone on a level to where they would be
Which
like,
is
oh, we
why
need to find out.
in these movies all the time, you find out that the person that was killed was like, oh, by the way,
Right.
they
there
were a
some-
key figure.
yeah.
This is not that movie. Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't do that at all.
Yeah.
So I think, obviously from his point of view, he's experienced a terrible loss and he wants to find them, but his bosses don't care about
Well,
finding
they don't care, but and B, the guy's on the payroll, so they're not gonna care.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he's coming to them like they're gonna be like, all right, let's open this this CIA investigation. Like, they don't.
Right.
It's below their pay grade. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, he even says this is above your pay grade when he starts dropping some some like blackmail.
That's true.
So realizing that these two guys aren't going to take this seriously, Rami Malek kind of drops the information that he has stumbled upon and says, if you don't train me to be a CIA operative, there's a dead switch. It's going to the top 3 journalists in the country. Like, all this information is going to get released. You don't get to arrest me. You don't get to ship me off to a black site. You don't get to do this, blah, blah, blah. So
and I liked that. I thought that was pretty clever. So like, even though these guys are doing some bad stuff that obviously could get the United States in hot water, they could obviously end their careers and get them jail time and all that stuff. He just wants to find the person that killed his wife. That's what he cares about, right? At this point, nothing else matters. So I thought it was an interesting take where it's like, I've got this stuff and I could release it, but he's like, you know what? I'm just going to use it to find my wife's killer. You know, like,
he's constantly not going overboard. Like, once he gets to the person that he wants to kill, he's like, all right, I'm just going to move along.
Yeah.
And move to the next one.
So the problem with this whole dead switch idea of like, if I don't log in every 5 hours is that they're sending him off on a mission that he's probably going to die doing. So what happens when he fails to the dead switch?
They weren't going to send him on it. They were going to have Lawrence Fishburne kill him before he ever went anywhere.
But once they scrubbed everything and they're like, well, there's nothing. They think he's full. They think that while he's off training, they think that they are scrubbing all of his personal life, and they're trying.
I guess it's from the get-go, like the plan makes no sense because statistically speaking, I mean, we know he's going to succeed because he's the star of the movie, but they're not in a movie.
That's
right?
true.
So it's like if somebody comes to me and says,
"Well, you didn't watch the after credits scene?
I want to."
This whole thing was just a movie.
I want to go on this deadly mission, and if you and the way I'm going to make you let me do it is if I don't log into this thing every 5 hours, then I'll ruin your life. Okay, but then if you get killed on this mission,
then what happens?
How do we shut this down, though?
Well,
like, that would be my next question.
You can't put that on me.
Yeah,
like I didn't kill you. You got yourself killed.
I'll let you go try, but if you die, now what happens?
Right, but from their POV, I think it still checks out though, because again, they were basically like, we're gonna buy time until we can find this dead switch, and they have their whole department tearing apart everything.
Okay, then Rami Malek's character should have been like, wait, what are they doing? Like,
but he doesn't think he's
no,
gonna
he knows
die
what they're doing because he's got everything bugged.
But he thinks he's so good that like he doesn't think he's gonna die on the mission, and they're gonna find the stuff and lead him on and train.
You should still think the other side's gonna ask this question because they're very vocal about the fact that he's really stupid for doing this and he's not gonna live.
But what else can they do? He's either gonna release it or you buy yourself time. There's no two.
Well, I think if
he doesn't send him on it, he's literally gonna release it. They literally have to buy themselves time.
We're gonna give him
choice.
time in the training, and then scrub everything. And then once they thought that, like, hey, there's nothing here, he's bluffing the whole time, that's when they send Lawrence Fishburne in, like, hey, smoke him. And we finds out that Rami Malek has been playing them the entire time.
I thought the way that they got the stuff out was really cool. This is the stuff I think in these spy movies is really neat.
The like little chip on his.
So it was like, how does he get this information out, right? So the CIA. So basically, because if you're asking yourself, well, why can't he just download this hard drive and get it out? So they show you
CIA.
throughout the movie, the CIA is not only having you like scan a badge to get you into the office, but there's like X-ray technology following you,
they're
making
doing
sure
like biometrics.
You don't have anything in your pockets, and they show you that again and again. So he can't just sneak a hard drive out or a flash drive out. They check for everything, and so the way he gets it out, they show you is like he's photocopying something, but he's like taking pictures of the papers as they're being photocopied.
But he's also using a skimmer.
But that's what I mean. He's like skimming over the papers, but then also what did he do? He
puts the skimmer on the printer, so the printer he rewrites the code of the printer so that they can't see what he printed. Like,
well, either I don't know how it works. I'm just saying, like, the technology. It's really cool. Well, yeah. I don't know how the technicality. What I'm saying though is like he didn't just download it to a flash drive.
Yes,
he
right.
Got the printer. He was like copying the files, but then as he was copying, the skimmer took the information off of it. And then how did he sneak it out when he was sweating?
So he had it. It was like a little chip on his badge, like on the clip of his badge. and that's where all the information was, and they couldn't read it because it was like just the way it was on his badge.
Yeah.
The machine didn't pick up
Yeah,
the
so
little thing.
So that's cool. He snuck it out in a really interesting way, and then the way that they end up. And see, I thought that because he was, we find out listening in on them, that he was gonna send them on this chase and then be like, "I got you, suckers," or whatever.
Which he kind of does.
But essentially, he just led them down the path of they found out where this is nothing.
Right.
Yeah, I was thinking like he was going to be 2 steps ahead to where it was going to be like,
gotcha.
Now go here and I got you, whatever, But
it is funny. I do like, sometimes with these movies, the person who is now like a CIA, a James Bond style character, is really good at everything immediately.
Mm-hmm.
He sucks at most things, which I do like. Like he's using.
He's an amateur.
Immature.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the first person that he kills, he ends up using her cell phone, and that's how they track it. And it's like, what do you do? Of course they know what this person's cell phone is, so that's how they find him.
Yeah, I think that's the other cool part about this movie is we're not just watching James Bond or a secret highly trained agent. He's a desk jockey.
Yeah.
And, obviously incredibly good, incredibly brilliant at what he does, but he's not in the field. He's not doing this stuff. So when you go out in the field, you see, how does he even pull this stuff off? Is it by accident a lot of the times, right?
Well,
he stumbles into it because
they
he's bad
smartly
at it.
take it. And, when they're at the shooting range with Lawrence Fishburne, he's shooting from about, it looked to be about 30 yards away. And he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with
I think it was like 28.9 yards away.
All right, you son of a bitch. Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah, meters, 28.9 meters. And I do like the Lawrence Fishburne's like, all right, everybody stop. And they moves him up to like the 15. Still can't hit anything. And then Rami Malek is just kind of like, and walks up to the 4, and then he finally hits it. And I like the line.
I like that line. I guess I'll just have to be this close.
Yeah, and it's like a 50-50 shot. He's like, so you're saying there's a chance?
I did like
He's
it.
like,
that
no.
He goes, okay, so point blank. So now you have a 50-50 chance of actually hitting something.
And he goes, I'm overestimating your chances.
Yeah,
which
I was being kind.
I was being kind, yeah. Which
Lawrence,
comes into play
Lawrence
later.
Fishburne's very good in this movie.
I think Lawrence Fishburne has figured it out.
Yeah.
Like I thought
at this point in his career, being in John Wick, he is just
John
always,
Wick, The Matrix.
Yeah.
I think as much as we bag on Man of Steel, he's a fantastic Perry White. I think
he is not the problem.
We bag on Man of Steel, Joe.
Yes. Yes. You're outnumbered.
The royal
son.
we.
It's the official position of this show. That Man of Steel is
we
dog
still
shit.
believe in democracy on this
Yeah.
show, so
But
2-1.
Larry Fishburne,
Larry,
Cowboy
yeah.
Curtis himself,
Yeah, right.
has always been really good, and he's a good actor.
He was great. He was Jack Crawford on Hannibal, and he was great on that. He was so good.
But
Which
in
is
this movie, his performance is perfect for this movie, right? Like it's just what he's doing. He's serious enough, but also in kind of a lighthearted, kind of a like, I don't really care, honestly, either way. Like it's just it's perfect for what this is, right?
Yeah,
and
I agree.
I really liked him. I thought he was really funny.
Has there been a character in movies that's been, besides James Bond, obviously, played by a single character that's been played by so many different people?
Batman.
Yeah, I guess. Well, okay. Besides those,
So if you knew comic books, Joe,
yeah, that's true.
You need to read more.
But I mean,
comics.
like it was.
Jesus.
You think Jesus is? Well, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think it's funny that every time there's a new Hannibal Lecter thing, there's a new Jack Crawford.
Yeah.
Like it's always a different. It's Harvey Keitel. It was Scott Glenn.
Rusty Griswold.
yeah.
How many times has he been somebody else? I guess every time.
About the
every
sister?
time it's a different one, isn't
actor.
it?
Like
sister?
the kids are always different.
Always
Yeah,
different.
both of them.
Juliette Lewis is the daughter at one point.
Yeah.
in Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
And John
but
Galecki.
is also Christmas Vacation. Yeah,
Is that who
Yeah.
But which one is Anthony Michael Hall?
that's the original
Oh, just Vacation.
Vacation. Yeah,
That's funny.
Vacation 1.
Vacation 1.
but the kids
I guess
are
that's true.
always-
Summer
Yeah,
Vacation.
Summer Vacation.
Because by the
They should have
time
went back and called it Summer Vacation Chapter 24.
That's a callback right there.
yeah. But yeah, because by the time they made European Vacation,
They were old.
Anthony Michael Hall was too big.
Oh, sure.
Because Vacation comes out in '84, and I think National Lampoon's Vacation or European Vacation comes out in '87.
Okay.
But by then,
He's part of the Brat Pack.
yeah, he's done 16 Candles. He's doing Breakfast Club. Like
Weird
he's
Science.
Weird Science. He's a big deal. He's not going to go back and play second
Rusty
fiddle.
Rusty
Are
Grizzly.
you talking about Star of Halloween Ends? Anthony Michael Hall.
Star
Evil
of
Dies Tonight.
Evil Dies Tonight.
Quote unquote.
Yeah, that's
USA
right.
Network's
Dead Zone.
Dead Zone.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he was too big. So then I guess they just decided they get
They
all
just
new
kept-
kids. But I
It's
think
not really nice to say. He's getting older.
one of the Audreys had health problems. I think it's the second one, the one from European. I think she had
Hepburn.
diabetes.
Audrey
or something
Hepburn.
like that.
And I think Vegas Vacation is Ethan Embry. I think
Is it? I don't even know if I've ever seen Vegas.
that one's
Vacation.
all right.
Yeah.
It's fine. But Ethan Embry, I like him.
Yeah.
He's from Empire Records.
Although I think it's the first Audrey, they repeats, pops back up to play the character again in
Uncle Eddie's Vegas Vacation.
the Christmas Vacation 2, the
Uncle
Uncle,
Eddie one.
Eddie one.
What
is
a
really
weird
bad.
one to come back
Or
for.
Hawaiian Vacation, I think.
It's like when they
that.
get Robin Williams to come back for the voice for the Aladdin TV show.
Yeah.
That was
No,
Aladdin 3.
It was the,
I know,
it was
no,
the
yeah, right.
direct to DVD.
Also-
the
Aladdin
one where
3.
he meets his dad,
The TV show and the second one were voiced by,
Hank Azaria.
no, it's Dan Castellaneta.
Oh, was that Dan Class? Maybe okay. Maybe I
That's
switched those
man,
two
that's
up,
kind of
but-
cool. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Good for that guy.
Yeah.
Never has to work.
But
like
so
he's-
he did the whole Aladdin 3, and then
And
they
then they were
got
able
Robin
to-
Williams back.
Oh.
And they scrapped it all.
like,
yeah.
you know what? Look here, Chris Farley.
You know, he's probably like, I got paid,
yeah, I don't care.
you know.
And I'm Homer Simpson.
right.
You know, I don't have, you know,
It's like,
whatever.
I still got paid.
It is
Okay.
really funny when he pops up in other movies and he just always sounds like Homer Simpson. For the most, like you can just hear it underneath.
Oh
his-
yeah, I think his regular voice is very close
it's
to
very
Homer.
similar.
Very close to Homer.
Clearly, he's doing a little something different.
Yeah.
But like when he's in live action stuff, what did he pop in? What's a movie? He was like a bit character in live.
don't even know.
I think it was something where he was like in a CIA or something. I don't know. He was some guy in a suit that, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's
Homer.
just- you're looking at him and you're just like, that's Homer Simpson.
It is.
It's
I just saw that they recast the voice of Jimbo as
Oh,
Mo,
really?
like Mo Collins is now Jimbo Jones, and I was like,
Yeah,
is
they're
Jimbo getting a bigger role on The Simpsons?
no. The actress that played is like, it was like, I'm done. She's been doing it's Pamela Hayden. And
Oh.
she's just like, I basically retiring.
Okay.
From the
They
Simpsons.
That
just
makes
renewed that
sense.
show for 5 more years.
Four, I think it was.
Was it
wild, man. I mean, that's crazy.
Like,
Good-
isn't that wild? I haven't watched in a while.
I find it fascinating that they still feel the need because, like,
to
normally,
keep going.
yeah, because like normally from a network standpoint, you renew a show because you're trying to get it to syndication. You want a certain number of episodes, and at this point, they've got all
Oh.
the content they could ever possibly need.
You'll never run out.
It's surprising that they're still, especially as the salaries have increased on that show.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised that they keep bringing it back. Like
I feel like this is just like
from
they're
a business, from
yeah.
purely from an economic.
Oh yeah,
standpoint.
like if this were on WB, they would have cut it.
Oh,
You know what I
my
mean?
God,
Like, you know,
yeah.
this would be a write off. It would be like, you know, this isn't in the budget. I feel like because this is really one of the shows that, you know, was early on in the Fox network and basically brought it
I
to
mean,
popularity.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's still people there that appreciate that, and also all the merch and stuff that they can sell and keeping theme parks relevant and
I
things
also
like that.
you got to think, you know, people who are now coming up or in, you know, up and comers in Hollywood, like this is their show. Like
Yeah.
they grew up with The Simpsons, so it's kind, you know, it's not going anywhere.
But yeah, I'm very surprised. I mean, as someone who grew up loving The Simpsons, and yeah, I haven't watched it that much lately, but I still love it. I mean, I you know, I grew up with it, and I think I always will love it. But
It's like the Tonight Show with John
I
Carson.
kinda.
In terms of like, I didn't really watch it anymore, but it was nice to know it was there.
yeah, I think that I'd be, even though there's so many episodes and there's still ones I haven't seen and all that, if I heard it wasn't being renewed, I'd be very sad about it because it
don't
would
know
just
that'd
feel
be
like a piece of me, you know what I mean, would be
Yeah.
gone.
it would be kind of wild to think that The Simpsons were over,
Yeah.
but then it's also like, man, there's 9,000 episodes.
I
of
know,
The
but
Simpsons.
like it's something that you feel like will never go away. It's the same thing when a business closes that you think will always be like a Circuit City or what, you know, whatever. Just something that you felt like would always be there.
that hit close to home for you when Circuit City closed.
Yeah, it's still haven't gotten over it.
Blockbuster.
Yeah, I was like,
Blockbuster.
trust
I mean,
me, I get
anything-
it.
right? See, yeah, thank you very much.
Famous Bar,
That is a wild one. That's gone.
Grandpa Pigeons.
That one's not so
showing my
much.
age.
Grandpa.
Woolworths.
All right, now you're showing your age.
Yeah.
Radio Shack.
Oh, yeah, Best Buy.
The
I guess that's
I
still-
can't
guess
believe that's one
the
that
East India Tea Company. That was real sad for me when that one finally went under.
Best Buy is the Simpsons of retail stores.
That's a great call.
right?
It is wild that they're
How
still
is that
around.
still around?
I don't know.
Like, and of course, I think what they've done is they've basically like cut half the store of like the fun stuff that used to be fun to go look at movies and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like half appliances now.
Oh,
it's
is it? I
essentially
couldn't tell
what
the last time I
Sears
was
used
in
to be.
a Best Buy.
You know, it's an appliance store that has a side with like, do you need computers? Do you need appliances? Here's a few video games in there, and some TVs in the back.
That's where I used
you
to
know?
go to get my stuff.
But yeah, I know. But Target now has
Mm-hmm.
a huge TV section. Walmart has a huge TV section. Like, there's no need to specifically go to Best Buy for, you know, unless, I mean, if you're rich, they have the high end. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like,
I see.
if you're fine with a Vizio TV, which makes
Totally
amazing
fine.
TV, $600 for a 65-inch 4K HDR
Mm-hmm.
smart TV, beautiful, right? But if you want one for like your theater room, you
going
get
to
a
Best Buy.
$10,000 one from Best Buy. But still, I mean, there's stores that specialize in that. Like, I don't know that Best Buy really has that big of a need in society
Not
anymore,
anymore.
right? Because there's
No,
so many different stores.
Once
that
you
do-
get rid of digital or physical
Physical,
media,
yeah.
And like honestly, I'd rather order a TV online because if I buy it from the store, I've got to
get
get
it
it to
home.
my house.
Yeah.
that's true.
Or if I buy it online,
Just
they'll
shows up
ship
at-
it to my
and
house.
if you have a
at my house.
problem, they'll pick it up from your doorstep.
Yeah,
you
That's
know?
pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he goes basically. He's tricks the CIA into training him.
The company?
Yeah. Sorry. Into training him for an estimated amount of time, and then he bolts.
I love this idea though. I do think, and I had fun with this movie. I was entertained by
Yeah.
it. I like the idea that he blackmailed them, just like didn't blackmail them in a way that's like, oh, you do this or I'm gonna like blow up the world or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he did it because he's like, I want to find the guy that killed my wife. I'm gonna blackmail you with this unless you train me and let me go risk my life to do this thing. I just thought it was like a really low stakes thing
It is very low
for
stakes.
them to do, right?
Yeah,
Because
right.
the high stakes thing would be like, is he going to tell anyone about what we did? But like for them, it's like, okay, we'll train you. You go get yourself killed. Have a good day. Good luck,
Right.
you know. And I thought that was interesting. It's a very personal
Oh,
vendetta
yeah.
for him. And
But he gives himself enough time to get a bunch of different identities, a bunch of different passports, and then he skips town.
yeah, he's very smart.
Yeah.
he used them for the lessons and for the forged documents.
Right.
Yeah.
And for the dental.
Well, yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah.
It's
Still
got to be
get
real
benefits.
Yeah. Have you seen how expensive insurance is these days? Like,
I'm a grown.
Well
adult.
aware. So he goes after the first gal, and
I thought you got all your medicine from trials.
Just my vaccines. Just my vaccines. You
Here,
know
try
what?
this one.
Who on the show hasn't had COVID?
That's a good point. That's a
This
fair
guy
point.
right here.
Had it
Not
twice,
good.
3 times. So he goes after this first gal, and he realizes, he breaks into her apartment, and he realizes he's not able to pull the trigger. He can't. He has no backbone. Basically, he can't. He doesn't have the balls to do this part of it.
Jack Reacher's a pussy.
You're not wrong. I would not call Alan Richardson.
No, but I'm saying this is.
Oh,
Jack
sure.
Reacher was a pussy.
That guy's a
Yeah,
giant
He
human
wasn't.
being.
No one is saying that, Joe. No, he was really good in that Gentleman's Warfare or whatever
He's
movie.
good.
Playing like against type. I mean, he was still a big badass, but like when he talked not doing missions, he was just
There's a
like this
lot
like
of- there's a-
friendly, silly.
You got 2 giant men
Yeah.
in that movie. You got Henry Cavill and Alan Richardson. They're just like 2 giant,
Yeah.
beefy men.
Just like you like them.
Yeah.
Just how I like
but
them.
that showed me. See, I wasn't too familiar.
Did you ever watch Blue Mountain State?
No.
Watch
Is
that.
he on that?
Yeah.
Okay. But that movie showed me he had the comedic timing. I really liked his character in that.
Oh, there's a lot of funny beats in Jack Reacher.
I've never seen it. I'm
Yeah.
just saying,
Oh,
I've never
kid,
seen that
that's
one. Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, no, there's it knows what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it's very self-aware of
Yeah.
it.
I
and,
think
like,
he's good. When he pops up and stuff, I think he's good for sure.
He's a monster.
But that's what I
he
like about.
played Raphael in the Michael Bay Ninja Turtle movies.
Oh, I mean
He's
that
the,
makes
he's
sense.
the, he's,
based
the
on his
he's the
size.
mocap for
Okay.
Raphael.
Okay. Interesting.
He did not have nice things to say.
Oh.
He was real. What I like about him also, the
Well,
dude
when
seems
Michael
like
Bay asked him to walk up the stairs and to film from below, he thought that was really weird. First of all, this is motion capture. Why
Right.
do you need me to?
what I do like about is I feel like he is fairly authentic. Like he does not hold back
Oh, nice.
about
Okay.
people in Hollywood.
Okay.
Or
That's cool.
yeah, I think he was on the. Who was the guy that was Lex Luthor on Smallville? Michael Rosenbaum.
Oh, Michael Rosenbaum.
He was
his
on that
podcast,
podcast,
yeah.
and he did not.
That's a good podcast. I do like that.
I do like it too.
Yeah.
He does not hold back about Michael Bay and how they were treated
Okay.
on that, how the
Okay.
turtle actors were treated on that set. So he goes after this gal. He does a little bit of research and realizes that she has like this allergy. So he buys all these flowers. He mushes them down, and then while she's in this like bike hypoallergenic chamber,
I think they're giving her a VO2 max.
What is that?
test. So they test like how your body you have to like do max exertion, and they test your oxygen levels and something like that.
Well, he starts pumping. He breaks in.
Crystal would know. I could bring
That's
her
fair.
in. She'd explain it.
And starts pumping it full of pollen. So she can't get out. And he's like, just give me the name and I'll let you out of here. And she's whispering it. And he's like, I can't hear you. And finally he opens the door and
Dummy.
dummy.
What an amateur.
Yeah, idiot. But again, I like that.
Yeah.
That he is making mistakes.
That's what I think is entertaining about this movie is we've seen a million movies of Reacher and whatever, obviously James Bond and that stuff. This is like John McClane going on secret missions. You know what I mean? Like he's a cop.
Yeah, but John McClane is capable.
I know, but he's a cop, but he's being thrown into these like larger than life kind of situations. And Rami Malek's capable in the fact that he's a very intelligent, trained, like, he can figure things out. And but they're like being an everyman being pulled out of their element and into these crazy situations is entertaining because you're like, how are they going to react?
How's he going to get out of
and
this?
Watching him and like he kind of lucks himself out of these situations. And I also think he also kind of like the way he kills these people is like kind of like Batman
totally by accident.
It's like Batman not saving Ra's al Ghul, you know?
Right.
Like it's
Ra's al Ghul.
What? Oh, you're. Oh, we can get into these conversations all day. But it's they call him Roz in the movie, but it's supposed to be Ra's.
I think it's both. I could say both ways.
I've always heard Roz.
I've always said Roz.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, but it's like he's like gets into the situation where he's like, well, I didn't actually kill them.
Yeah, well, I mean, the one gal
she
does get hit by a bus.
Right, but he like
he's like if Final Destination was a person.
Yeah, but it's like Batman not saving him and Batman being like he's like
Saving
clearly. Raish?
Oh, okay.
You make clarify. So
it's Roz Fiennes.
Roz Fiennes.
Oh, who made a joke about him that was really funny the other day?
Who, Batman or
me
Ra's al
just
Ghul?
now.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, God, I'm losing.
Yeah.
No, was it in the Oscars, Conan, where Conan says if he doesn't win, then we're just gonna have to call him Ralph. He made a really funny joke if he doesn't win the Oscar or whatever.
Right.
He's like if he. This is what he said.
I thought his name was Ralph for a very long time.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
But Katie did too until I said it the other day, and she goes, "What?" And I go, "Yeah, his name's pronounced Ralph Fiennes."
Yeah.
And she goes, "I didn't know that."
Yeah.
But he said something like, "If he weren't a better actor, then he would be just a guy named Ralph." So that was really good. Conan's great. He's renewed for next year.
Yeah,
too.
he figured it out.
Yeah.
He's so smart.
It's so cool. Conan, he's my favorite late night talk show host. I think he's amazing. Obviously, that whole thing was so screwed up because he's had one of the best shows out there.
Yeah.
I still liked Ernie Kovacs, but
good for you.
And what show did he host?
He hosted he was a guest host on the Tonight Show. In between.
Joan
in between Jack Parr and before they finally landed on Carson, then he had
Oh.
Letterman actually stole a lot of stuff from Ernie Kovacs.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, Joan Rivers got screwed over just like Conan did. So
Yeah.
the Tonight Show has a long history of
It's a little shady.
screwing over
Yeah.
people that deserve it. But anyway, I'm so glad that he got that. I mean, that's obviously a huge gig. He's super funny. And also, like, he has that travel show that has a new season. It's really
does he?
funny that Conan and O'Brien, whatever, he travels on HBO Max. So it was renewed miraculously. I don't know how
knew?
I guess because it's just a guy that you follow with a camera. There's not like a huge budget that goes
Does he
into
get
it.
screwed?
But he goes to other countries and just talks to the people.
And Conan Needs a Friend is great.
Oh, the podcast is great too. Yeah.
Yeah. So he ends up going to. This gal gets killed. Lawrence Fishburne is on him because he's using this gal's phone, who was one of the four, and he ends up going to like Marseille, France, which just whatever
Marcel,
which just looks like a shithole. Like the way they portray this whole town, there's like everything looks kind of run down, but every bar that he goes into is like a giant techno club, and there's graffiti everywhere. So he ends up getting caught by Lawrence Fishburne in this club in one of these bars.
I love that he's like the T-1000 or something. He's just always
Kinda,
on his tail.
yeah.
He was playing it very much like he just shows up and then, he's running away, frantic, is trying to escape and looks behind him. And there he is just walking.
Just doing a Pepe Le Pew. He's like,
oh boy. I don't think we can say that anymore.
Did he? Oh, they took him off, didn't
Yeah. Oh yeah.
they?
Dang.
Did they bring back Speedy Gonzalez?
I don't.
Didn't they bring him back?
Yeah, I feel like he popped up in something not too
Did
long
he?
ago, and I
Yeah.
was just like, oh, I was not would
Hey,
not have
welcome
thought
back,
that.
Speedy.
Yeah, they let Porky Pig stutter, and
That's
the
true.
day the Earth blew up.
Yeah.
I was
Good.
wondering how they would handle that, and
Did
just
they
did it.
stop doing it for a while?
There was, I don't know, if they ever stopped, but there was like people complaining
Sure.
about that.
Of course they are.
But
Because they're whining.
yeah,
You
they're
know,
whiners.
They're whiners. So they're in this bar, and I do like this moment where Rami Malek kind of accepts his fate a little bit, and he sits down with him, and he was like, Lawrence Fishburne's like, I gotta tell you, like, I am shocked that you have made it this far, but we gotta go. And he's like, yeah, you kind of made a comment about the 50-50 stuff, the stuff that I'm not good at. And he's like, what about the stuff that I am good at? And as he says what I am good at, this bomb goes off. Also, I was like,
He shows him a countdown timer.
but
So-
I will say, there's a lot of
Yeah,
civilians
you're-
in this bar.
Bro, you're a terrorist.
Like, what are
now.
you doing?
Like that is the only thing I don't like. This is again, I call this the Rock and Rampage situation
Sure.
where yes, you saved the world, but you also created the problem. Like he's doing a lot of crimes along the way
Yeah,
to try to catch his
he
wife's
explodes
killer.
a bathroom
Like-
in a crowded bar. I was
He's
like,
a terrorist. Like there's
people
like
got hurt.
you
Yeah.
can't do
There's
that. Like you
Well, when he does the whole swimming pool thing, and I was like,
there could have been people underneath.
I guarantee you there were
He,
people
he
underneath.
damaged like one of the most expensive pools.
I don't really care about that as much.
I
Like,
know,
that's
but
a
that's
money
the-
thing. But like,
Okay,
there's
but-
human life
Right,
that
but-
he just squished.
But you can't just go do that and then
Instant shards of glass.
That's giant shards of glass.
I know that. So this is the thing where it's like, but I mean, it's because he's an amateur, and so we get why it happens. But also, there's no repercussions.
None.
And of course, in the end, I guess you're gonna write it off as well. You did do something that the greater good, blah 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 blah. But
Yeah.
but you're right. I mean, that stuff bothers me when along the way you're committing huge crimes because you're the good guy.
It would be one thing if it was just like smoke.
Yeah.
Like he just made like a smoke bomb. That's
I
fine.
know.
But this dude
I agree.
explodes a bathroom.
Yeah.
That's
and
way-
not in a fun way.
that's
Oh, I've
way-
exploded a bathroom or two.
No, it's way too big of a crime to commit.
Right. So he takes off, and then he goes and he figures out who this person is, the informant. We find out that it's this woman in Turkey, and they set up this whole thing.
It's Claire from Outlander.
I've never watched that.
Yeah.
Has anybody? I guess because it keeps showing.
It is. My wife was like, "Oh, that's the lady from."
Oh,
Outlander."
okay.
She-
All right.
she
Well, it's
likes
a
those
huge
books.
show.
I was like,
It's
it
based on
keeps
a-
getting renewed. So.
Yeah, it's based on.
I think
book
it's
series.
over now, but yeah.
Oh, is it?
Was it
Yeah.
the last season? I
Yeah,
knew
but
that
it ran
new
for like 7 or 8 seasons. It's
Yeah.
a whole series of books.
Yeah.
It's,
It was
yeah.
Game of Thrones.
It's like 8
light.
books. It's not the same.
No.
It's about a woman in modern times who goes to like Stonehenge, but there's a magic. I don't know if it's Stonehenge, but it's a rock formation, and she has an experience where she like travels back in time.
Oh,
So
And
she's like a doctor, I think.
She's
so
a nurse or yeah.
So
a
she's
doctor.
well, I just assumed she was a doctor because I'm a feminist.
Oh.
But so she has like knowledge of modern day medicine. So she's able to like
step it up a little bit.
yeah.
She can help people
Right.
out of her time. She even gets accused of being a witch at one point,
Of
I
course,
think, because of her
course she
medicine.
does.
Yeah,
But
right.
And 'cause I mean, in fairness, she is a woman.
Right.
oh,
Yeah. Let's not forget
Man, you
that.
you dialed that back real quick.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah, I
a doctor,
thought you
but
were.
also
Let's not forget, she is a woman who knows things. And
Witch!
what other explanation could there be?
none.
None. None of any kind.
That's right. So she goes to Rami Malek goes to this gal, and they devise this plan to basically.
and he thinks that she's a 50-year-old Russian man.
Yeah, and she's like a very attractive woman.
Yeah, they go to meet in this little bar, and he sends a message, and a guy picks up his phone, so he thinks, oh, that's the guy getting my message.
No.
It was just coincidence, but she walks by and she's like, that's not who you're trying to meet. And she
Right.
like, sneaks him out and
Gives him a book.
yeah,
and
they're doing a
figures-
walk and talk, pretend
Yeah.
like you're shopping, and if you're not followed,
Meet me here at the
yeah.
car.
Get rid of your baseball hat so you don't look like an American.
I won't do it. I'll keep mine on. Thank you.
Well, that's why you're not working for
That's true.
The company.
The company. They'll pick you out quick.
Yes.
So they devise this plan, and the CIA ends up figuring out who this gal is. I gotta tell you, did not expect her to die. Thought, she
I
kind
know.
of gives the line. I thought it was like basically how she took over for her husband. She's on the run all the time. She's got this gun. He's like, what's one gun gonna do against? She's like, it's not for them, it's for me. Like, I'm against the Russian government. So they devise this plan. They go after the third guy, which I think this is actually a fun one. Like, this is actually a fun, like, kind of Final Destination.
Oh, do you know that swimming pool's real?
No.
It's in
Well,
London.
not anymore.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I can't believe they let them demolish that for the
exploded
movie. But yeah, it's in London. It's between two skyscrapers, and it's a real pool that stretches
cool.
between the two.
That's
yeah.
cool.
That's Zach Galifianakis' new show.
Between two
skyscrapers?
skyscrapers.
Between two skyscrapers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they go after this guy, and Rami Malek, knowing that he doesn't have the cojones to shoot him, he uses his skills and he depressurizes all of the glass, where he basically says, "Tell me where this guy is, or I'm going to hit this button, and all of the glass is going to collapse and break, and you're going to fall."
Oh, this is the second.
This is the second guy.
I'm sorry.
yeah.
I thought you
No,
said
the third guy is the one that actually is.
the third guy. And again, this one's just to me is kind of crazy. That
This is because he doesn't get any information from this guy.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know. He's like, no, all right.
yeah.
But he
Click.
wants to kill the people who killed his wife.
That's
yeah,
correct.
But true, and I get that part. But also, like with the third guy, then he's like, "Give me this information, or I'm going to blow you up." The whole thing I thought was like, if you do this thing that I ask you for, you're going to be okay.
Right.
But then by
No.
the time he gets to the third guy,
like-
he's like, "Tell me where the fourth guy, the final boss is, and I will deactivate this improvised explosive device I've rigged up in this box." He pretends that he's shipping him like nuclear warheads,
Yeah,
or
they trick him into
missiles or
thinking-
whatever.
yeah, right.
And so he's like, if you close the lid of this box, or if you move, it's gonna explode. He tells him where this guy is. He gets some information out of him. He's like, "All right, see ya," and the guy explodes. And I'm like, "Oh wait."
If you jump, you might.
That's a good
Yeah.
line.
Yeah.
I do like that
like
line.
that
But
too.
yeah, I agree with Kevin. This is a really bad way to create repeat customers.
Correct?
Right?
Right?
Like, there will be no brand loyalty.
No, not if you start blowing up
You
people.
were going to. You think we got a 1-star review? Oh, wait till
I got
this
news
guy.
for you,
I gave
buddy.
this guy what he wanted, and I got blown up.
Yeah.
I do like where he's like, hey, come back.
Yeah,
He's like, nah.
Yeah, but I mean, I get it. Whatever. These people facilitated in the killing of his wife. But I just thought that he told everyone, like, "Hey, I know," because they're like, "I didn't pull the trigger. I'm not the right guy." Okay, well, just tell me what I want.
Right.
But
No.
they end up dying anyway.
No, I'm going to kill you anyway.
Yeah.
So they blow up the thing, the pool, and guy plummets to his death, along with probably a plethora of other human beings that were down there that were just squished by
But they're extras.
tons, right?
So that doesn't matter.
Tons of water and giant shards of glass.
their own fault for being extras.
How dare you?
Yes.
How dare you be an extra? So while all of this chaos is going on, we find out that Lawrence Fishburne is in the hotel where Rami Malek is, and there's another guy who is also in the hotel. And we assume that they're working together. So at one point when Lawrence Fishburne has Rami Malek kind of dead to rights, he gets blasted by this other guy. And we find out...
Wait, like, blasted?
Exactly.
Like, oh,
Exactly.
This is so the CIA, the head of the CIA, is like
Basically starts figuring out
this guy is
that
dirty.
the assistant director is up to no
Yeah.
good.
And so she's like, "Where's Charlie?" And he's like, "I don't know. I haven't heard from him. I'll
Couldn't
let you know
tell
if I
ya."
do." Whatever. So she figures out where he is and sends a good CIA
operative,
officer there, and that's who meets up with Lawrence Fishburne, and then they start having it out.
That was a good fight scene.
Yeah, it was
a good fight scene. And Lawrence...
I think the weird thing is the fight scene goes on, I think, a little long for characters that we don't really know or care about. Like if the main character is fighting and having like
Sure.
a knockdown fight, but when you have two ancillary characters that aren't your main character going,
I go back to that fight scene in Safe House that is so goddamn good.
with the main characters too, right?
One of them,
yeah.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, right.
The other one's
I just
Joel,
think
the other one's Joel Kinnaman.
it's weird when you show two other characters and your main character's watching, like, and they cut back and they're having this drag out fight. It's like, who cares about them?
Yeah,
I don't
right,
think-
right.
I mean, just let him escape and go do
Well,
his
it's,
thing.
I
but-
think there must be a piece here that gets cut out.
Yeah.
Because Lawrence Fishburne gets shot in the gut, and he ends up, which again, like when he shoots the guy through the dryer, I was like, that was kind of cool. So there's a moment where they're looking at each other, and I was kind of like, you think that Rami Malek was going to go in and kind of like give him enough first aid to keep him going,
Yeah.
but they
Claire
never
from
show
Outlander
that.
in the ear says, "You got to go right now," because so she is the man in the chair. She's
Yeah.
watching all the security cameras. She's directing him, whatever, and she's like, "If you do not leave right now, you're going to be caught." So
Right.
he does go to kind of help him.
But he never goes over to him. He's standing at the door.
He can't. He's got to
No,
go.
yeah,
like, you know
right,
what I
right.
mean? Like he
But-
is going.
But at
then
the end of the movie, Lawrence Fishburne says, "I just need to thank you," and they shake hands. Because like he's alive at the end of the movie.
I did not take it that he was thanking him for that scene.
Then what's he thanking him for? Being
I-
a cool guy?
No, I just took
Murdering
it as,
civilians?
I thought he respected that he
it.
underestimated him. And
I
he
guess.
It
I
was
didn't.
more like, well done.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't think he was
Hat
thinking
tip.
for saving him at all, because that scene he does leave.
The
And
only reason I say that is because
Yeah.
John Bernthal does say earlier in the movie, he's like, why are you hanging
which of the two scenes? Which one
the
that he was
first-
in?
There's three, because there's the one in the lunchroom. The CIA lunchroom.
God. Okay, sorry, I forgot. Blink if you miss it,
Yeah, right.
John Bernthal.
But he says that guy's. I think Rami Malek says I saved his life.
Yeah, he saved him while he was out on another mission.
Yeah.
And so that's why Barenthal likes him.
Right.
He like
So I assumed that he was going to do the same thing for Lawrence Fishburne. So he takes off. He goes back to this gal's house in the most not sexy, supposed to be kind of love scene where she's like, I just want somebody to hold me. And he was like, come on in here. And
It's
she
nice
cro-
that they gave her that for 1.5 minutes
yeah,
before
right.
she was
The
taken out.
turkeys in Turkey wake up, and
I like that alarm system. That's pretty clever.
it is clever.
Yeah.
She's like, it's better than any electrical
And-
one.
and nothing you
and
can,
it's not doesn't need
can't
power.
hack into it. Yep.
Nope.
Yeah.
You
I
just-
thought that was really clever. So they start going crazy. We find out the Russians, I guess the CIA tipped off the Russians because
They did because they figured out who she was. So the CIA tips off the KGB,
Mm-hmm.
and then they go, and there's a pretty good chase scene.
I like that they have this little escape hatch where they can like go out through the walls or whatever and then go around behind them and escape out. I thought that was kind of cool.
That was cool.
Yeah.
So they're riding along the coast, and they're being chased by a speedboat.
Yeah.
And this guy, I'm sure they've got expert shooters on the boat, and they end up shooting the informant in the chest, which I didn't catch right away. Like the way it's filmed, I just thought they shot the car,
Yeah.
and she kind of bounced off. She does not. She gets shot in the chest and is killed.
And then also the guys on foot that were chasing them in the house are like the world's fastest runners because they're speeding away in a car all this
a
time.
small little sedan.
They pull over, they switch seats, and then all of a sudden the guys on ground are like right there.
Right
I'm like,
behind
how did
them.
they catch
Man,
up
you guys
to
are
them so
fast.
fast? But okay.
So Rami Malek, takes off. He figures out where he's going next. The informant had actually set up a dummy drop for this third guy. They show up. He opens up the box, and it's full of explosives. This is what we talked about. Where he's like, give me the guy's name. I don't know the name. Well, screw you, buddy.
But he does give him the name,
He does
right?
give him the name, and he blows him up
And then
anyway.
he says, screw you, buddy.
Yeah, right. And then the final boss, basically, he gets to like the Baltic Sea in Russia. He gets this whole thing set up.
He
This
goes
was-
to the docks.
I thought this
and-
movie was really slow.
It was
Really?
very slow.
And,
Oh,
like,
I agree.
The quiet parts where there's no score were
Yeah.
just
Dragging.
deafening.
Yeah.
Dragging.
I can't stand. Okay, I get it if you want to have one scene for dramatic impact with no score, but this movie had so many scenes that
Yeah.
weren't scored, and it's so quiet. You couldn't. I didn't even want to chew my popcorn. Like it was so quiet.
Yeah.
and I think that does make a movie feel very slow when there's no
Yeah.
score. Like just have a little.
And it was.
something
I think
in
it
the
was only
background.
2 hours,
Yeah,
which
it-
seems reasonable.
Yeah,
but it
like
did.
it just felt a little bit of a slog. Like it's
I
not,
agree.
It's I didn't care for Rami Malek's performance.
He's just in a different movie.
Yeah, and
This is
it's-
like Chris Pine or
Yeah.
even anybody else.
But this is definitely like an airport novel of a movie.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't really care for any of the kills except the last one.
Last one's good.
I
What,
like
the
last.
bomb?
No, the one we're about to go into.
Oh, okay.
I thought
okay.
the final guy. I thought
It's a
this
great
whole scene
setup.
was great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You
I
had
agree.
two powerhouse actors
Yeah.
giving stellar performances in this moment.
Yeah.
Rami Malek kind of having the confidence now
Mm-hmm.
for everything.
Yeah.
Them together were
Okay.
really good.
Okay. I like that he's smart and set this thing up. I like all that part. And again, I was overall entertained by this movie. I cannot stand the thing where the villain says, okay, here's a gun. You won't shoot me, blah, blah, blah. It's like, who's going to do that?
Well, especially
That's
when
so stupid.
when you see his henchmen in the
Right,
background
with a gun.
shoot the other
they
guy.
have a gun on him. So
Yeah.
like if you choose to kill him, you're choosing to
Yeah.
kill yourself. So that really is not a true test of whether or not he has the intestinal fortitude
Yeah.
to kill another person, because he knows he's going to die instantly should he pull the trigger.
Right.
And I don't think the bad guy, I don't think he has a suicide wish or anything like that. Like, I just don't think that you would ever, to do this poetic
It's a big gamble.
thing. but why? Why even do it? I mean, just to be like, oh, I just know you won't do it. Like, I just don't think anyone's going to put themselves in that that much risk.
Right.
Even if you think the guy's not going to shoot you, it's just kind of a dumb movie thing. I thought that was really stupid. I like what they were doing, I get, but I don't know. The huge boss, this guy that has been killing people and setting up all these things, and
he's the one who killed his wife.
Yeah, this big
Sarah.
Powerful player. You know what I mean? I don't think he's going to say, "Oh, here's a loaded gun. You won't kill me."
Good luck.
Yeah, I think it's dumb, but
so he's on the dock and he ends up getting asking too many questions. But this is all a setup.
The dock on the bay.
Yes. That's exactly where it
Was
was.
he sitting on it?
He was not sitting on it.
No,
He was
standing on it.
Yes. And then he got laying on it because he got hit in the head. So he gets taken onto this boat that's in the middle of the Baltic Sea. And this is where we get the big explanation. The guy was like, look, your wife wasn't the one I was supposed to take. Like I had somebody else. She was very brave and kind of stepped up and yada, yada, yada. And finally he was just, they have this back and forth. It's not a monologue, but it's a dialogue between the two. And finally the main guy kind of says, here, like, you have every right. You came all this way. And I do like this where Rami Malek kind of says, he like has the gun, he just kind of like points down and the guy gets on his knees. And there's this is one of those moments where there's a long pause. And finally Rami Malek is like, there it is. Like, that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see the look on your face when the same look that she had. I wanted to see it. And all of a sudden...
But this works better, to me, if I were writing it, this works better if Rami Malek was good enough to where he gets the guy into a position to where he has him dead to rights on his own accord.
Sure.
He literally only did this because the bad guy gave him a gun and went along with it.
Right.
Well, he only had 3 days to live or something, so he's like, what the hell?
I think the plan was already in place, so I think Rami Malek is just taking as much time as he can.
He's just
Of course.
stalling.
Yeah.
Of course, which all banks on the guy is going to give you the gun and let you buy time before I don't know.
Well, I think he was always planning to stall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can't stall if you're shot in the head.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy could have just killed him.
Could have.
Why do killers, I know the answer is because movie, but why do killers that kill every other character and every other civilian and every other thing they do in all their crimes, when they get to the lead character, they have to do it in some drawn out, it's the James Bond villain thing. It's every villain in every movie.
Bond villain thing.
It's like
through and through.
It's just like, because I think it was this movie, I can't remember. I think it's the other people he met maybe in the movie or something. I don't know. I turned to Katie at one point. I'm like, just kill him. Why don't they just kill him? This is so dumb. That's the part I just can't stand in movies. So I think if Rami would have used his intelligence and what he's learned to actually trap the guy. Now, whether he dies or not, I think the guy would be caught in what we're about to talk about.
Yeah.
But the point is, like, he doesn't. He survives. And it's like, I just hate it when it hinges on the villain doing the stupidest thing when he is this high-level guy that always wears a mask, that never gets caught, that, he's so careful about everything.
Like, no, man, you shoot me.
That's such a, like, I don't know, calculated risk to where it's like,
Right.
why would you do that? It's so dumb.
Well, and it cost him.
Yeah.
So we find the boat starts making these weird movements. We find out that the boat is moving on its own. And Rami Malek kind of says, this has all been the plan. He's
He
like,
hacked the ship.
yeah, you're no longer in international waters. You're in
Finland.
We've crossed over into Finland. Interpol is on the way. The Finnish Navy
It's
is
the finish line.
Hey,
You're welcome.
He's crossed the finish line. That's pretty good.
Take that 1-star review.
Yeah. That was at least a 3-star pun.
you slugs. So he's in Finnish water. Interpol shows up, and we find out that because Rami Malek, he had like an Apple. Well, they don't call it that, but that's what it is. It's an iWatch, and he had all this different stuff on him, and that gave him access to control the boat and get it to where he wanted it to go. So rather than killing this guy, he gets him arrested.
Yeah.
And then we cut back to the United States, and we see the director of the CIA giving a press conference where she's like, "Hey, man, some people that work for me did some shady." And I do like this that she's getting out in front, like, because we assume that this stuff is going to get released. The dossiers are going to get released. So she's getting out in front of it.
This is a movie, I mean, I know it's not realistic that a organization like this wouldn't cover it up,
or would be what's the word?
Led by a woman.
But this is a fairy tale fantasy where they just get out in front of it
where
and
the
say,
CIA
we're sorry, some bad
owns
stuff.
what happened and transparent.
That's why women aren't in charge.
God forbid we have transparency in the.
No, thank you.
No,
What kind of
thank you.
piracy?
Transparency.
Oh, we're definitely not having that in this,
Not anything like
not
that.
in this administration.
Yeah.
So they arrest both guys. There's the assistant director and there's the other guy that was working.
I think
with
they
him.
cut funding for transparency.
We can't even say it. So they arrest those guys, and I do like that. Even the reporters are like, "Hey, where's the good guy?" She's like, "Well, he's out there somewhere."
Let's not concern
Yeah,
ourselves with that.
don't worry about it.
we
the
already blew up
where's
a
the
bar.
guy who
He
murdered
destroyed
civilians?
50 people died when a pool crashed on them. He blew up a hangar.
35 French citizens drowned to death at street level?
Yeah, he's out there somewhere.
Yeah.
So Rami Malek shows back up, and he's getting into his car, and then Lawrence Fishburne.
He's like a guy that tanks the stock market, and then it goes up half as much as it lost.
It's
saves
almost
today.
like it was planned, maybe a little bit. Who knows? Let's see how many stocks they
From the
bought
people
in
who
that time.
brought you Plandemic, we get no. That there's no way anyone would do something like that on
No.
purpose. That's just crazy.
Yeah, let's find out how many stocks they bought in that time. So he basically, Lawrence Fishburne is like, "Good job, buddy. Like you're A-okay in my book." But I actually have a book, and I'm gonna write on here. That's from Death Proof. That's what that is. It's a good line by Kurt Russell.
I don't know. You should talk to your therapist about that one too, probably.
Why? Oh, shut up. Death Proof is good. I love that movie. I actually do think I'm in the major minority on that one. I do enjoy
I don't
that
ask
one.
the therapist. I'm going to use them as the judgment. Have they ever heard of it, or
Oh,
does
sure.
it sound dumb or not? I'm just saying.
I think we need to focus on the fact that he said major minority. And is that a thing?
A major minority?
If you're
I
in the
guess you can
minority,
be in the minority, but a large part of the minority.
well,
There could be like a... Oh. I see what you're saying.
I mean, he modified it, right? He's in the major minority,
maybe yeah.
or maybe it's the larger of minority. Like
I've stumped
Maybe
him.
more people don't like it but I guess then the other people are the minority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're
I worked all night, all right?
you're definitely in the major minority of people that love Monster Squad.
I think I think there is a bigger number than you realize. If I can just get it to like 51%.
51 people.
I know I've got that. I know for sure I've got that. And that's how this movie ends. Is Lawrence Fishburne kind of gives him the thumbs up, and Rami Malek is like, "Yeah, I didn't just murder a bunch of people that didn't deserve to get murdered."
I mean, I think in the movie world, we're supposed to believe that no one was hurt by any of his antics.
That's impossible.
We never see a news report that anyone died. So
He drops 150,000 gallons of water.
for all intents and purposes, we know, just so people that haven't seen the movie are clear, it's not like in the news report they're like 15 people die in a bombing or whatever. Like, so I think we're supposed to think that all his antics led to 0 deaths other than the bad guys.
Wow.
But
Didn't happen. That did not happen. There was a weird moment where it's not weird, but it's a shot of Rami Malek at his wife's grave. And I looked at the year that she was born and I was like, 1990? That's a thing. Like those people are 35 now.
And that's
That
not
is-
going to get better for you.
I know.
That's only going to get worse.
Yeah, right.
that is crazy to think about.
Yeah.
That an
'Cause we're old.
adult woman that
She-
died. She was born in 1990.
1990.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I thought this movie Rami Malek is in the wrong movie. He's giving a very different performance than everybody else. But I think this is on the level of like that Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit. I think it's like on the level of The Mechanic with Jason Statham.
She was really born in 1990 too.
Oh, was she
I wonder
really?
If they used her birthday.
1992?
She was.
Did you see the day she died?
No, what was it?
September 12th.
12th. No, I
And
did.
I was like,
because I'm
oh,
like, why did
Jesus.
they make it so close to that? I thought
It was
that
a very weird
I
date to pick.
Yeah, absolutely noticed that. 'Cause I'm like, that's weird. But
You
yeah,
know what
no,
I thought when I saw September 12th?
No?
That's the day that the Monkees premiered on NBC. September 12th, 1966.
Thank God it wasn't September 11th
Yeah.
that they debuted. Tom's like, what happened on September 11th?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the Monkeys debuted.
Tom's going on about how great of a day
It's a
he's
wonderful
celebrating.
day.
Best day ever.
But
It
yeah,
was such a weird date to pick.
it is a weird.
It's a
you
weird
can
date to
pick
pick,
any other
and then
day.
the fact that they have a terrorist attack
right.
on September 12th.
Yeah.
It's like you could pick.
I know
There's
any other day. I don't-
364 days you could have picked.
Yeah, I don't get. Yeah, that is. I agree. I think it's just weird. And I mean, I know it's just another day of the year. Like, in the future here, 20 whatever years
Yeah,
later,
right.
like it's one of the 365 days, but still, where it's so associated.
So close.
That, but she was born. Rachel Brosnahan was July 12th, 1990. So
Okay.
it's just interesting
That
to
is
think like
weird.
they used the year she was
I gotta
actually
tell you,
born.
somebody posted a picture of her side by side with Margot Kidder from
Yeah.
78 Superman. It's eerie.
She looks like Lois
just-
Lane.
Yeah.
I mean,
if they were to pull her out of a comic book, like
I-
she looks so much like Lois Lane.
I think James Gunn has proven himself. We've said it. I mean, I'm not going to doubt him until he gives us reason to.
Yeah.
And I think his instincts with casting are so good, and character development.
I think DeLuca said that they hired him months before to direct a Superman movie, before anything was announced. DeLuca said we hired him in secret.
So before he actually came on to run DC,
He was already going to do it.
the
He was
Superman.
already going to do
Okay.
it. And he's like, and then we are where we are now.
Yeah.
But he was already
That's
in the
cool.
pipe to do it.
I'm excited. I have no doubt. Like again, he
hate
hasn't
that
given us
suit,
any reason.
But I'm willing to forget.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. I mean, if it's not, then we'll talk
Did you
about it. But
Did you end up watching that 5-minute teaser?
No.
What did you do? It was
Um,
before Minecraft.
I think I just looked away. Or
Covered your
something.
face with your sweatshirt.
It looked a lot like. So when I saw the clips from it, it looked a lot like the clips from the teaser.
It's the I mean, just to tell you, it's like the whole Fortress of Solitude scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, where
Okay.
crypto.
Yeah.
I guess I saw robots that were in that stadium or whatever. They were the same robots, right? Weren't
I
there
don't think so.
robots in a stadium or something? I don't know. I tried to just ignore it. I kind of caught a little bit of it. I think it's going to be so good, though.
We'll find out. I'm hoping it is.
Yeah, it's crazy that every time I saw some people on Facebook, as soon as whatever latest thing got released or whatever, they're like, or maybe it was the trailer, and they're like, see, it's heartless with bad humor
That's
and
dumb.
blah, blah, blah.
No,
You know what I mean?
I
It's
didn't
just
get that
like,
at all.
God, they just won't stop. It's crazy. How many years has it been now? Like, it's another
It's
movie.
wild.
Just
It's wild.
watch it, and if you don't want to watch it, fine, but like, are they being paid? Are they on some kind of payroll? What could lead people to go on and on and on? Like,
The Manosphere.
The man, yeah, that's exactly it.
but
So
this was entertaining. I thought it was.
it's
fun,
a good airport novel of a movie.
Yeah.
I just thought it was really slow.
It was
It was
slow.
fine, but it was slow.
Agreed.
Yeah. Let's go
Agreed.
Minecraft. Tell you
It's
that.
no
I didn't
Minecraft.
throw my popcorn in anybody.
Did you bring a chicken?
Yeah. Well, of course.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
What about
All
that?
I could think is like, imagine if Hawkeye Pierce was going to see that movie and somebody brings in a chicken. It would be
What?
quite traumatic for him.
He's talking about from MASH.
Oh.
That's a joke for the olds.
That's still a
Anybody
great show.
over 45, they're chuckling right now.
43. I just made it.
Yeah, just made it.
What
So,
about that Megan screening where you bring your phone to the theater so everyone can point their phone at the screen and scan QR codes and get information?
If I
What if
I
that-
almost don't want to go see this in a theater, like because of that.
But that's
it's not the new one. They're re-releasing the first one with pop-up video on the screen.
I'm sorry. I thought it
essentially.
was for Megan
But
too.
but still, you're going to a screening to watch a movie
yeah.
with other people. Presumably, it's a limited thing. It's going to be a full crowd, and everyone's going to be pointing their bright at. You know, they don't have them dimmed. They're
Yeah,
pointing their
right,
bright
right.
ass screens, holding up in front of the screen. Like, why would you watch it at home with special features?
At least
like,
it's a special screening. Like
I know,
but
but
like
if
the
it
premiere
works-
of
Yeah.
the movie.
But if it works,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know what I mean? I'm so worried that stuff like that is going to be more mainstream, where it's like, dude, just be at home and watch it on your phone then. Like,
Yeah.
it's just such a dumb idea.
I agree.
And the thing that worries me about Minecraft and all these weird screenings and Minions and all that, it's like these trends get people to go pay money
I
and
gotta
buy
tell you,
tickets and buy popcorn.
my screening of
and-
The Amateur sold out.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Me and Katie were the only people under 60 at our
really?
screening. Very full screening, but it was very much an older
yeah.
dad movie type
Sure,
thing. Where,
absolutely, yeah.
I was just like, oh wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is an old movie. It's a remake of him.
I thought it was a
This
remake.
came out in
Oh, is
1981
it?
with Christopher Plummer.
Yeah, I thought this was a
Oh,
remake.
I didn't
yeah.
know that. I knew it was based on a book. I didn't realize that it was a remake.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
There you
well,
go.
anyway, I guess that's it for this one. Let's go on the table, and everyone can say where to find them.
This is Joe. You can follow me on the Twitter at JoeyButts, BUTTS21, and on all the other ones, Blue Sky, Threads, and Letterboxd at the same.
This is Kevin. Follow me on Twitter at Kevin R. Brackett.
And this is Tom. You can follow me on Blue Sky and Threads at Tom O'Keefe Jr. or Facebook at facebook.com/Tom O'Keefe. Find the show online at facebook.com/Real Spoilers. While you're there, like the page, join the group, and of course, don't forget our Patreon, $5 a month, and you get all sorts of bonus content, and we like you extra. So that's it for this one. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, the oil field plan was a contingency.
Get ready for a spoiler. Won't say it twice, 'cause we